Chris Phillips here in the Weather Pulse weather office here, and we're talking about the possibility of severe weather. Let's go straight to the maps here. Slight risk of severe weather in play for the majority of well, basically all of the Weather Pulse area. You see the slight risk covering pretty much most of the Ohio Valley too. Now, bear with me here. I don't have the percentages up on the map, but the yellow area would be 15, the red would be 30, and the white would be the enhanced risk. The best chance for isolated tornadoes or destructive winds at this point in time looks to be from Louisville, Elizabethtown, Evansville, Madisonville, Bowling Green, Mayfield, Paducah areas. Those are the areas where it's going to be likely the worst. We'll explain why in just a few minutes. Also in play is a wind advisory. Here are the areas: Jefferson, Scott, Clark, Floyd, Harrison, Orange, Du Bois in Indiana, and in most of Kentucky except for the far northern and far eastern portions of Kentucky and the far western counties in Kentucky as well. That's a wind advisory in effect. We'll go ahead and take you on a live look here at the radar first. And you can see right now that we're dry here around the area, but you can start to see a few showers popping up towards the west, towards Quincy, west of St. Louis. This is actually the warm front getting its act together, and we can kind of look at this on a better view here on Weather Pulse Fast Alert HD radar. You can see scattered activity up around Columbia in Missouri, and that activity is going to continue to push northeast overnight, and this will basically expand south and further east, and I'll show you that on the computer models in just a second. Let's go on back home here and let's dig into the dirt here and show you what to expect. You can see, first of all, this is our helicity index. Basically, this is telling us how much spin is in the atmosphere. This is something we use to see if the storms can actually rotate and possibly produce tornadoes. And then on top of this are these little arrows. The bottom arrows are a mile above your head, the wind direction. And then about 2,000 feet are the ones on top. Notice how the bottom arrows are shooting straight north and straight up to the north, and then the other ones are shooting more towards the northeast. This is something we call directional shear. Basically, these storms, as they build height, they can start to create a column and rotate. And I'll go ahead and put this into motion here for you. And you can see as we go into time through tomorrow afternoon and evening that the helicity values jump even further up to 500, which is very extreme for this time of year. And you still see that directional shear with the arrows on this particular computer model run here. So this is pretty much prime time for these storms to move in through the area, and you do see that directional shear and the very high helicity values. Now, the next thing we'll look at is the CAPE values. CAPE values tell us how much energy the thunderstorms have to work with. And you can see, first off, back off towards the west, very spotty in nature, or less than 1,000 units. And we'll put it into motion here for you. And this is during the morning hours. And then once we start getting into the afternoon hours, we'll start to see some sun. You start to see those CAPE values starting to increase, the little purple areas. This is basically saying that, hey, the storms now have some energy to work with. Now, this is when the line starts to get its act together around, I would say, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Notice these yellow areas. This is anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 units. This is very conducive for severe weather. Then notice, as we hit about 10, 11 o'clock, that really starts to dissipate. I don't think it's going to be much of a big deal with this line of storms. I think it'll cut down on our tornado threat, which is a very good news. So that's why the higher risk area is off south and west of of us. Now, let's show you winds a mile above your head. This is the low-level jet, and this is basically what the storms can tap into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. This is right before the warm front comes through. You notice this is when the warm front, this is early morning hours. You're seeing 70 to 80 knots around the Indianapolis area, 50 to 60 elsewhere. Then that warm front pushes off towards the north, and we start to get that low-level jet into parts of southwestern Kentucky, southwestern Indiana. You see the whites filling in there. This is 70, 80, possibly 90 knots out ahead of this line. If we get any discrete cells to develop in front of this line, those storms could be very potent, producing, even if they're not producing a tornado, 70 to 80 mile-an-hour winds are a possibility with any of these supercell storms. Look at this helicity, or these winds, this low-level jet. This is a mile above your head. Storms can easily tap into this wind energy and produce severe weather. Now, let's go ahead and show you what future radar is going to look like as we go on through the morning hours and through the day tomorrow. Let's go ahead and time it out. You see those storms out towards your west now. They start to funnel in towards the morning hour, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't think this model is particularly handling the morning precipitation very well. I think we will see a little more in the way of shower and thunderstorm activity than that was showing. Then you notice that the showers and thunderstorms start to refire around noon, 1 o'clock. You see some out there towards Vincennes. I'll kind of zoom in a little bit more for a local view for you, so you can kind of get a feel of what we're going to be seeing. You see Bloomington seeing some light shower activity. We'll go ahead and advance it a little bit further. Notice the cells start to get a little more potent looking here on the future radar image. And this is a sure bet because of the way the model data is coming in. We could be seeing some supercell thunderstorms, especially towards our south and west coverage area, Louisville, places like Elizabethtown. You could be seeing the potential for a few spin-ups with these storms out ahead of the main line. This is not the line, folks. This is probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon activity, the primetime heating of the day. On the far edge of your screen, you're starting to see that big line of storms from Indianapolis, Bloomington to Jasper. That's the cold front. This line could produce 70, potentially 80 mile-an-hour winds. So be on standby when that line comes through tomorrow evening. Have your weather radio available. Download the Weather Pulse app. Just search Weather Pulse in your Google Play or Apple App Store. It's free. You see the I-65 corridor, 9, 10 o'clock. We get to I-75 around 10, 11, 12 o'clock. This line's going to race. It'll be out of here by midnight or 1 o'clock. Here are temperatures for tomorrow. This is one more thing I'll show you here before we wrap it up. And you'll see that the model data shows we'll be in the 40s here through the remainder of the nighttime hours and into tomorrow morning. And then you see once that warm front pushes through our area, 50s, 60s, even potential 70-degree readings showing up into portions of Kentucky and far southern Indiana. So it's going to be warm. And then you notice once this cold front starts to move into the area, look at that. We go from 50s, 60s, all the way down to 40s, and then 30s within a few hours. So it's going to get cold compared to what we've been seeing for the past couple of days around the area. I've got chances of snow for the weekend, folks. So winter is not over yet. And I know, don't attack the teller. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. If you want to get after somebody, go get Mother Nature. That's your latest forecast. Remember, you can find us all the time on Facebook, Twitter, and on yourweatherpulse.com. Hey, and make sure to tell everybody to download that Weather Pulse app to keep them and you and everybody safe tomorrow. We'll continue to keep you updated. I know this was a long update, but I kind of want to explain everything for you and kind of let you know where we stand. From the Weather Pulse Weather Office, I'm lead forecaster Chris Phillips.